Hi, my name is Grace, and this is the Grace and Pearls Knitting Podcast. As you can see, I finally finished my Hey Sailor Tee by Andrea Mowry. This is a bottom-up drop shoulder t-shirt. It is really a cardigan. There are buttons on the back. And I knitted it up using the Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino in the colorways Blueberry Ice Cream and I think it was Marzipan. Let me double check my notes. It might be like cream. Oh, cream. If you guys don't know the saga, I already made one of these and then I spilled red enchilada taco sauce on it and I decided to use clothing spray because I was afraid it was not going to come out with regular wool wash, and so I sprayed it and it immediately bleached my sweater. It was devastating because this was one of my favorite finished objects I've ever made, and so I decided, you know what, if I don't make a second one now, I'll never do it. And I love the first colorway. So I just got the same exact yarn, cast it on, did it again. What was nice about making it a second time was I could make adjustments. So I did add an inch or so in length. And then I knew that I wanted to do the shoulder like slightly different. I kind of just, instead of doing A, B, C in her directions, I kind of did like A, D, C, B. There's a 3 needle bind off here, and when I went to do the Italian or tubular bind off here at the neckline, I just did the 3 needle bind off at the same time instead of doing it later. And I don't know exactly what happened in my original pattern. In my original Ravelry notes, I did say that I used a US 3, but I'm pretty sure once I got started, I went down to a US 2.5 and just never changed my notes. And so that's what I did with this sweater. And when I first tried it on after finishing it, it was way too small and I was a bit nervous. So I did aggressively block this. I know that with mosaic knitting, that would be possible. And so that's why there's a little bit of a bump on this side, but it turned out much better. I'm much happier now. It was like negative ease and now there's the positive ease that I like. I think like because I aggressively blocked it out, the length isn't exactly where I wanted it to be, but because I added that inch or so extra, it's fine. It's pretty much exactly where it was last time. The only complaint I do have is that this neckline seems a little bit tight for me, but I'm hoping that when I'm wearing it, it'll loosen up. I will turn around now and show you the back, and just letting you know, Ralph, my cat, may join us. He is eyeing me right now. So the back, I used buttons from my local yarn store and I just did it all the way up here. I kind of guesstimated the spacing between buttons. I did the exact spacing that Andrea recommended for my size, but I knew my length was a little bit different than what she described. And so my stitch pickup rate was a little bit different too. And so I had way more stitches than what she recommended. But I was using a little bit of a tighter needle, so I got better ribbing. And so I knew that I may have more buttons, and I did have more buttons than what she recommended, but it was the same amount of buttons I did for my last cardigan t-shirt situation. So I knew it was pretty much exactly the same. I think the bottom button may have a few more stitches afterwards, but I don't really care. You really can't tell, because I did my button band top down. So that was good thinking on my part. The only thing I can think of that I might end up doing is sewing down the button band. I know I'll never wear this open. The button band will always be closed, and that'll prevent the like gaping that you see. I think that mainly happened because of my aggressive blocking, which I'm totally fine with. But sewing down that button band might just make it look a little bit neater. This is Ralph for all of those who've never met Ralph. He will pop in and out of my videos. I'm gonna try to see if he'll get comfortable here. I think that's all I have to say about this Hey Sailor Tee. I'm so happy I made it again. The cost of the yarn I think was like $57 US, which is really not bad. And I did buy this all before the tariffs and stuff like that too. So you know how things may change on a whim around here in the United States. So I'm very pleased with that. Pretty much anytime I can get something under $100, I'm happy. So very happy to finally have this. Oof, sorry, that was Ralph. Finally have this back in my life. My next finished object is another pattern by Andrea Mowry. This is her Brume sweater. I knitted up using Manchelopis and the colorway Azul. It's this lovely unspun yarn. And the first time I blocked this sweater, it didn't really grow. Second time I blocked this sweater, it grew massively. So the neckline is a little bit wide, and so I'll probably take that in just with like fishing line to fix that. And then I had a lot of positive ease. And so I aggressively decreased in the underarm, which you can totally see with Ralph's tail in the way. And so there is some bagging here. I really should have just gone back and decreased out some stitches. And then I knitted the sleeves to pattern, but they didn't really block out aggressively like the rest of the sweater. So I might give it another wash. Basically the way I did this, because I was assuming it was going to block the same way, I just like washed it in wool wash and warm water, and then I laid it flat to dry. What I'll probably end up doing is reblocking this and seeing if like pinning it out a little bit, manipulating the sweater a little bit can help fix some of the inconsistencies. I kind of knew going in that I wouldn't wear this like in a fancy formal setting, but use this more as like a working sweater, like when I'm helping out in the yard and stuff like that too. So I don't mind that it looks a little bit like, I don't know, it doesn't not look put together, but you know, it's not like, not every finished object is going to be a masterpiece, and that I'm okay with that. I just wanted to try out unspun yarn to see if I liked it. I did like the knitting experience of it. I didn't find it bad. I, you know, had to leave it here at home. It wasn't really a travel project because of the plates. Would I knit and unspun again? I don't really know. Because of the like unprofessional side of things, I'm afraid it'll like not fit in my wardrobe as much. I would like wearing my pieces at work, so there's that too, but I'm sure I'll get plenty of wear out of this. It's already plenty warm. I think that's all I have to say about this. The yarn cost I think was $50 on the dot. I did get this from the Woolly Thistle and had a great experience with them. I chatted with them about if I would enjoy Manchelopis, about I think I was getting the Seton book at the time by Marie Wallen for my Seton sweater. And I was chatting with them about that too. So overall, great experience getting yarn from them for the first time. So my first whip is the Mayflower jumper by Saski&co, also known as the Petite Knitter, but she changed her name. It is this lovely circular yoke construction. I am using Sonner Yarn Co.'s Sunday Morning DK Ecru base. This is the colorway, ooh, I don't remember either of these colorways. Let me look at my notes. First Light and Whale Watching. I'm assuming Whale Watching is gray. First Light is a pink, like a sunrise. So I finished the body just earlier today and then picked up for a sleeve, just barely. I am using a US 7. I used US 8 for the color work and then US 7 for the body, and I'm so happy I did that. You really can't tell like cinching in like gauge differences yet. I'm hoping with blocking that'll get even better. There is a few short rows that you can do for the neckline to raise it up, which I did. I also did a folded down collar. I basically knit double, and then once I got to the point where I was folding it over, I just knit the cast on edge and my live stitches together, like K2 tog basically around, so that I didn't have to go back and do the neckline later. I feel like, I don't know if she had you cast on for the neckline or not, but I knew I wanted a double folded collar. I've been liking those recently, so that's what I ended up doing here. So I just have 2 sleeves to go, and then this will be finished. This I did bring as a stockinette project. My family traveled to Canada. We went to Banff a few weeks ago, and this was my stockinette project to bring on the side. The hay sailor was the #1 priority, but not all the time can I be doing mosaic knitting. And so this was a nice secondary project that I had. And then it kind of just sat in limbo once I got to the hemline because I knew I wanted to go down a needle size. I brought a US 5, which is what I used for the neckline here. But I found that this, I don't know, it looked a little bit messy, a little too loose for my liking. I think with this yarn, I really wanted to go down to like a US 6 or US 5 to get the tighter gauge that I was looking for. But I knew what my measurements were using this yarn for different pattern. So I just wanted to stick with the gauge there to make my brain work a little bit better. You know, sometimes my gauge math doesn't always work out. And so I just went with what I did last time on that sweater. And then I went down to a US 4 for the hemline, which I'm glad I did. It still isn't the most perfect ribbing. I think I could have gone down even more, which is why I was saying, like, for the body, this is a pretty loose gauge for me. I definitely could have gone down a needle size or 2, but I wanted a quick project. So that's what I did there. Next up, I don't think you've seen either of these yet. So we'll talk about one that I talked about in my fall knitting plans. Both are next fall knitting plans. One is a sweater I want to make for my nephew. He is turning 2 here in October, and I have not knit him a sweater. I did knit him his baby blanket, but my mother made him a sweater when he was a baby, and he still kind of wears that one. I think it's just starting to get too big for him, or too small for him. So I decided to, and then I found this really cute knitting pattern, but it was in Swedish. So I knew, okay, I wanted to make that sweater, but I didn't know how to go about it. So I downloaded the pattern so I could get the charts, and then I started translating the pattern, and I was like, this is already like very few instructions for it not being in English for me. So I ended up using the Flax Light pattern by Tin Can Knits as kind of a guide for the sweater. I knew I wanted to knit a size up, like a 3 to 4 toddler size. And so I casted on those stitches. I was like, there's no way this will fit. The Flax Light says in the pattern instructions to use a fingering weight yarn, but the sample yarn I think was a sport weight, so I was a little bit concerned about that. And this is more of a light fingering anyways. Casted on those stitches, I was like, there's no way this is gonna fit. Ripped it out, cast it on like 36 more stitches, hoping that that would be enough. I'm still afraid it's going to be too small. So this is actually in the middle of being blocked. I put it through the wash because I know this is Cascade 220 fingering in the superwash. And I know my sister will be putting this through the washer and dryer, so might as well do that now and see what it looks like. This I pretty much did in a day and a half. It's just so addicting. I love color work, and I think it's so cute. This is pretty much all of the blues that the Wool Company had, plus the white. And I wove in all the ends, and now it's taking its turn. It went through the wash, it just needs to go through the dryer. And then my mother will have him on Wednesday, and I'll have her measure his chest circumference and or clothes that he has to see if this will actually fit him. If it's too small, I'll probably still finish it because I pretty much guarantee someone in my family is going to have another boy. My sister and I are the only 2 girls on both sides of the family when it comes to cousins, so odds are there will be more boys in our future and somebody else can wear this. And plus, like, the girl could definitely wear this too. It's very cute. And so anyways, coming along on that, I would probably add just this X section again before doing the yoke. I ended up doing this bottom up because I wanted the color work to be centered, and I wasn't sure like what the center of the color work actually was. I think it would be like kind of in between the X's. So I don't know if I want the center to be the square or the X's here. We'll decide that later. And so I'm reverse engineering the flax pattern, kind of doing my own thing. Who knows if it'll actually fit, but it's coming along nicely and I love it. It looks so cute, and I'm sure I'll have extra yarn, and I'm like, can I make this an adult version? But I also, like, I could totally see my dad wearing this. I don't know if I want to knit him a colorwork fingering sweater. So I might hold it double or something like that. So we will see, but definitely very cute. Very looking forward to seeing a little baby sweater. Next up, I have the Cardi Jumper by Vert Knit. This is a all over stockinette cardigan, and I don't know if I left this on very good terms. Oh, I did, kind of. So this is the back yoke section here. It's all scrunched up because I was working on this on vacation and I had limited supplies with me. So it just is way scrunched up in here. But basically, this is where your neck's gonna go, and then this is the right front here. And that's what I'm doing now. I am using Knitting for Olive, and I just realized I have a drop stitch. Hold on, let me save this. It's where the Merino has been dropped, but not the mohair, so I'll go back and fix that later. So the mohair got caught, but not the Merino, and so there is an opening. Okay, sorry about that. So this is knitted up using Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair and the Merino fingering base in the colorway bottle green, and I am loving it so far. I'm really looking forward to this. I don't remember what I was thinking when I was buying this yarn. I'm not really much of like a evergreen person, but I have one in my wardrobe right now, an evergreen cardigan that I do wear, so this will probably end up replacing that. I think I wanted a different color, but I wasn't sure how it would go in my wardrobe, and honestly I would probably wear this as a sweater anyways, kind of like the Hey Sailor tee, because there is a button band, and in the picture the model most of the time is just wearing it close. I think that's Vert Knit herself wearing it. So anyways, this is coming along swimmingly. This is kind of my to-go work project that I have right now, because it fits in such a small bag because I'm only on the first two balls. So I'm very much looking forward to this, but this is kind of on the back burner because I'm so close to finishing my Mayflower. And obviously the baby sweater has a 1 month deadline. So anywho, I wanted to make sure I was getting good progress on that baby sweater. And I was amazed at how fast it flew by yesterday. So this will probably become a priority soon. Next up, I have just a little bit of a finished object too. My sister, who doesn't request much, was asking for some crochet pumpkins, and so I made one. This is just, you know, old acrylic yarn that I had in a brown gray colorway. I got some polyfill and I added a little cinnamon stick. This was honestly, I think, like the first YouTube video that popped up, and I thought, you know what, I can do that. It's really cute. And so I'll probably make a few more of these for her, and honestly, I take one too. So we'll see. These don't take long at all. If you've never crocheted, you can crochet this. You basically make a square and then cinch it in, add some polyfill or some yarn scraps if you have those, and then pop a little cinnamon stick on top. Super easy, super fast. And I already got my yarn out. I'm deciding what colors I want to do next. So it's super fun to do with scrap yarn too. Honestly, probably 20 grams of yarn, and it's nice because I knew I wasn't ever going to use this acrylic again, so perfect for a scrap yarn project. Next up, I have something very exciting to me. My birthday is coming up, and I talked to a yarn store owner about spinning. I've always looked into spinning, thought about it. I really like the color changing yarns. They can be expensive, so why not put in a lot more money instead of into color changing yarns into a spinner, and then I can spin my own, right? That's how this logic works. So I talked to them and I was like, hey, I'd be really interested. I know I want an e-spinner. If I were to spin, that just seems more my MO. But all these classes that I'm seeing are for your drop spindle, and that's not the way I want to spin. She said, okay, we have somebody who can teach e-spinners, but hold on, it might take a few months. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then another yarn shop nearby said that they were having spinning classes, and it was at convenient times. And so I said, okay, sign me up. So I signed up for that, bought myself an e-spinner. I ended up getting the EEW 6.1, I think by like, what is it? Spinning Dragons? There's no way that's right. It is basically like, my brain's not working right now. The, you know, they like 3D print. They 3D print these spinners, and you can get a lot of equipment online in case it breaks, which I really liked, and plus like different accessories and things like that. So keeping my eye out because I think their Lazy Kates are coming into stock shortly, like maybe October. So anyways, I got that, and I also got some spinning fiber. This is Malabrigo Nube in the colorway Azules. I like pink a lot, and I thought about the pinks a lot, but I've been trying to get myself to not use pinks as much. So I decided blues would be a good idea. So I've heard mixed reviews on the Nube that there can be some felted sections. I knew that going in. When I bought my e-spinner, it also came with a comb top, like a merino comb top from the Woolery. And so I will probably use that first to learn how to spin and then move on to this. Also during the spinning class, she did say that she has her own fiber that she's bringing in for us. So I'm looking forward to that. I tried a little bit on my own. It definitely was not great. And then I decided, you know what? There's a reason why you bought the class. So just learn. So we had our first session already where we kind of learned the basics, how to take care of your spinner, stuff like that. And then I think this week we will start spinning, which I'm looking forward to. So I think that's everything. I think that's enough. Ralph is starting to get into my Mayflower jumper, so I think it's time to wrap things up. Please let me know what you're working on. Let me know where you like to buy spinning fiber. I'm trying not to spend terribly too much money right now on fiber. I'm sure that will come down the line. I'm looking forward to, we have a yarn festival coming up here in Ohio in a few weeks, or technically next week. So maybe I'll look for more fiber there, plus some yarn, which I'm looking forward to. So get ready for some acquisitions, I'm sure, next podcast. Hope you guys are loving this cold weather here, at least in North America. Things are finally starting to change colors, and I'm very much looking forward to the winter season. You all take care. Bye-bye.